Hello everyone, I'm Lauren and welcome to a short video on how you can tell your male and female pygmy cories apart. Pygmy Corydoras, much like their name suggests, are a very small species of cory, and they only grow to about 1 inch for a full-grown female and just fractionally larger for a male. Much like other cories, pygmies are relatively easy to breed, but telling the two genders apart when setting up a breeding group is not quite as easy as it is for their larger cousins. This is because they only show very slight variation between the sexes, while a lot of the larger cory species have a noticeably much bigger female compared to the male. In pygmies, it's actually the male that's slightly larger, and it really is only a tiny fractional difference in size, and certainly not the easiest way to tell the sexes apart. It's worth pointing out as well that sexing pygmy cories is virtually impossible until they have reached sexual maturity, which they are in no rush to do. More often than not, the fish you pick up from a store are going to be about 3 or 4 months old, and they will be approaching full grown, but you're going to have to wait a long 6 months to a year waiting for your fish to mature fully before you're going to be able to tell them apart. That being the case, if you are looking to breed your fish, I would always advise buying a group of at least 8 of them. That is just to increase your chances of getting both males and females. The last thing you want to do is to have waited all that time just to find you've got a group that's only boys or only girls. But once they have matured, you can start working out exactly what you've got. And the first thing you're going to want to look at is their tails. Males have a proportionally larger and deeper tail that is much more pronounced lower border compared to the females. In all pygmy cories, this lower edge is quite sharp and well defined, and it gives the fish a very slightly flattened appearance towards the back. But on males, it is much more so, and it gives the fish a stockier and more robust appearance compared to the females. Also on the females, they have a very delicate caudal peduncle. That's the bit where the tail fin joins onto the body. On the females, it's really quite narrow, whereas again on the males, this is much stockier, and it's an easy way to tell them apart. Another thing to look for is that your boys will be slightly more colourful than the females. It's not a huge difference between them, and it's not easy to see in all light situations. But females tend to have a more white or pale grey base colour, whereas males tend more towards the yellows, and this really shows in the highlights that you see along the black parts of the body. Highlights in the females tend to be more grey with a very slight edge of pink to them, whereas in males this can be really quite gold, especially again in that sharp edge that's underneath the body. If you're keeping your fish in a really brightly lit tank though, this can be difficult to spot, so it's worth turning the lights down just a little bit so that you can see those highlights more easily. Another thing to look at is the general body shape of the fish. Before they have been fed, males will often have quite a flat stomach to them, while the females have this little bit of a round belly. Nothing huge, they don't get distended like a lot of danios or rasborias do, but they do have a slight roundness to them that doesn't come and go like it does with the males. Males, on the other hand, they only have a rounder shape just after they've eaten. The rest of the time they are much more sleek. Also, dare I say it, the females are a little bit cuter than the males are. Males have more colour, but females have a slightly snubber nose and this lovely little pot belly on them, and it makes them very, very appealing. In terms of their behaviour, both males and females are very similar. They both swim in the same areas of the tank, and they are both perfectly peaceful towards each other and towards other fish. And the only time you will really see any difference between them is in the mornings, as this is when the males will often follow the females around. They don't harass like guppies do, for example, but the males will follow the females one at a time, pretty much to see if they're thinking about laying any eggs today. After the morning has gone though, then they will go back to their usual behaviour of resting in between bouts of looking for food. Anywho though, I hope this short little video has helped you tell your male and female pygmies apart. Happy fish keeping everyone, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye!